stories. So, does anybody have any memories they would like to share with mom? We're just going to go around and just fill everything with love and memories. So, whoever wants to start? Come here. Sorry. Come over here. Where are we doing it at? Wait.
Turn around.
Wait. George.
Randy's starting his
What?
We're going to go around all right,
We need to get people together. We need to get people together.
I think Randy's on it. Near the
Or if you don't want to, that's fine too. If you guys want to come in, we don't have a microphone here. Some of us don't have a loud voice. So if you all want to we're just going to cuddle in.
You all know her. She was very kind and gentle and appreciative of other people, much like her dad was and her mother. And that was the best thing. And I think when we look here and see these people that knew her, it's very obvious that she was that kind of person. So I'm glad everybody showed up.
I'm so glad everybody's here. In speaking with the hundreds of people all over the world that I spoke with since Mom's passing, the general consensus that I've had is she was a very kind soul. People described her as a rainbow or a Care Bear or a burst of light, and that she could never be unkind to the most unkind person. So if anybody wants to say anything about their memories or anything, this is the time. And I'm just so grateful for everybody coming with the weather and the traffic. I know there was traffic on 17. I'm so sorry.
It is your fault.
And this is my Kathy, her sister, and she's gonna.
Back down.
I have to tell you how my sister said goodbye to me. It's very moving. My husband and I have a program on our TV and computer, where your photos come through. And when you pause the TV show, your photos come through from your album, your photo album. So George and I, the night before, my sister was taken off life support. We're watching TV, and we paused the show for some reason, and a photo showed up we had never seen before or since. It was my sister on her wedding day, the one where she's in the car leaning. You're driving, Randy, and my sister was leaning towards the driver's seat. She's in the passenger seat. She's leaning across Randy, and she had the most radiant, ecstatic smile on her face. She just couldn't have been happier. And that photo showed up the night before she died, and we've never seen it since. Before. We can't find it in our photos. So she said goodbye in her special way. She was so special. And she knew how much it would mean to me. Yeah, she spread light everywhere she went. And we always had wonderful experiences together. I didn't see her as much as I wanted to, but whenever we got together, you know how it is. Time never passed. It was just, we were just so tight. And I miss her.
Well, anybody else that wants to speak, just come here. Watch that.
Thank you. See, I don't really need the cane, but it's good for the sympathy vote, you know? Like, go to a theater, you know, hey, want nuts? I'm kidding. Now, I'm not very good at these things, and I had to print one out because my memory is suspect. I think from all that clean living I did in the 60s, so I had to print it out. Anyway. This is not rain here today, but they are Jami's tears falling from heaven because she couldn't be here with us in person. But I know that she is here with us in spirit. And thank you all for coming today to pay homage and respect to a beautiful soul. There's no reason for sadness. These are tears of joy. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal and don't forget to tip your waiters.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or you can stay there. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
I'll go up here just to be more central.
It's warmer.
It's warmer. This is, I have a story from many years ago. We lived in the same neighborhood in Los Gatos, and Jami was my very first ever best friend. I think we met when I was probably 3.5 or 4. And the story of that is that I was walking around the neighborhood with a doll blanket over my head, held on with a pair of cotton underpants, and was just out to meet people. Neil and Carolyn happened to be out in the carport and saw me go by and looked at me like, wow. And they said, hi. I said, hi. And they said, you have to meet our children. You have to meet our kids. And they brought me inside. And that's how I met Jami. Well, we were like two little, we just had so much fun together. At one point, I talked her into running away with me. I think we were maybe 4.5, I don't know. And I said, we'll just build a house and we're gonna live in it. And I got it all planned out. We have, you know, nails. I knew about nails and 2x4s and stuff. And so we were going to get up in the middle of the night, you know, at 3 in the morning and take off. She agreed. She wanted to go too. We had a very hard time getting up at that time. So after many failed attempts, I woke up one morning. It was about 6 o'clock. It was early. It was light. So I got out my baby buggy and my crackers and my dresses and things that I wanted to have with me. And I went out the door to get over to knock on the door to get Jami out of the house so we could do our thing.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, my older sister had ratted me out. Just as I was knocking on the door, my dad pulled up in the station wagon and put me and my baby buggy in the car, and that was the end of our escapade. So, but one more story, as we went to the same school, we kind of lost contact over the years. We all went to the school here. But one summer after, I think it was after my freshman year of college, a friend of mine from here and I decided we'd go and work in New York City on this St. John's Guild floating hospital ship. And we, at the airport, there we were getting on the plane. I think my mom was there. And in the same line was Jamie and Carolyn. And she was going off to New York City that very same summer
my goodness.
to dance and to try and be in the, I think she wanted to be a rockette. I think that was really the hope. So it was just such a sweet thing to see each other as we went on this big adventure. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I feel like just a very special part of my life that she was to me, my early years. And I don't have the experience that you all have of her as the years went on, and I'm sorry for that. So anyway, I just am so glad to be here and to, honor her and just be here.
Appreciate you being here.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
In the many years that I have been blessed to have Becky as my friend, I had the opportunity of sharing space with Jami so many times. And there's one that sticks out for me the most. And I think that it was Elliot's first birthday at De La Viega. And her and I were sitting on a bench and talking about family. And she told me that in Becky, she found a daughter that she had always dreamed to have. And she tried to be the mother she always dreamed she would be. And with every birth of her grandchildren, that her heart cracked open with love, and anybody who shared space with her knew that she just had this incredible capacity to love. She loved her family. She loved strangers on the street.
Oh, did she?
She loved me right from the bat. She loved the homeless people who lived outside of her apartment. She was so proud of each and every one of you. She loved you all so, so much. She was so blessed to have you in her life. And I am so grateful to have been able to spend the time with her that I was able to. Every time. You did it.
Guess I'll just try and say something. So in the short time I knew Jami, she was something special. I'm thankful that my kids got to know a grandparent, because my parents haven't been here for a long time. And as my family gets the opportunity to know their grandparents and their grandpa here, he's got to come see them more. I mean, she was an amazing mom. She raised a great daughter. She touched everybody. I don't know what to say. Thank you all for being here. I'm sure we all will remember her for the rest of our lives. And
You should.
better.
That's okay. You can sit there.
My name is Glenn Rogers, and I think Jami Cassady did a wonderful job to carry the spirit of the Beat generation, the spirit of the 60s into all of our hearts. And she was dedicated to helping her parents emerge in a deeper way, including her mother, who was so terribly talented. So I thank Jami, and I thank all of you for bonding and carrying on her spirit. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my name is Kim Monroe, and my wife is Mary Waters Monroe, and we both rode on the bus in kindergarten with Jamie, and she was my kindergarten first, second, I don't know about third grade. And the story about the picture I thought was interesting because, well, we were in a fire in Redwood Valley some years back. Everything burned, and we lost all our pictures and things. But the other day, my wife pulled out this class picture. I was always looking for a picture of the, it was first grade actually, and there's Jamie. So that's kind of funny that she showed up. The other thing was, I contacted her on Facebook maybe years ago, and I wrote something like, I think I had kind of a crush on you. And she wrote back, yeah, I think I had a crush on you, in kindergarten or something like that. So, and then some other classmate who was there with us at that time wrote something recently on Facebook when she heard about Jamie, how she, and she lived near you, Susan Sportleather.
Oh, yeah.
And she said something about, she always envied Jamie's ponytail. She always tried to get her ponytail, just wouldn't do it like Jamie. And I thought, that really kind of, there was something about that there was, anyway, I'm sorry this always happened.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, well,
We appreciate it.
I just felt like we needed to be here. So.
I love it. Thank you.
So I'm Dan Polcrano, I'm a friend of the family, and I was privileged to see Jamie just a few weeks before at the Oakland show, and took that picture of her that's on the newspaper. If any of you would like a copy, please, I've got some here, to remember her by, and it was really a privilege to be able to write something in her honor. I got to know Jamie over the years through John and Carolyn, and I know that right now there's a reunion going on in heaven with her parents. I know what you're thinking. Neil's in heaven? Yes, actually, because the all-knowing Almighty knew that marijuana would someday be legalized, and therefore the conviction got an advance pardon, so he's up there too now. So that's great. And anyway, the most important reason I'm here is because Jamie is such an excellent model for my own daughter. And I am hoping that 50 years after I'm gone, she will discover a piece of unpublished writing that I wrote and let the world know how brilliant I was, which nobody realized during my lifetime. So Jamie did this amazing service in carrying forth the legacy of Neil and Mom and the creative works that they did, not just for them and their memory, but for the world to be able to enjoy the gift that the Cassady family gave the world, and the breakthrough that occurred, and the historical and cultural importance that this family has given so generously to the community. So it's very nice to be able to pay tribute to Jamie and the whole Cassady family for everything they've given us in the world.
Thank you.
Great, Very good.
I'll say something. I only met Randy and Jamie in the last year of her life, so I just want to say two things. One is the Grateful Dead prayer. We now commend our souls to the Creator as we stand on the edge of eternal darkness. Let our chant fill the void so that others may know. In the land of night, the ship of the sun is drawn by the Grateful Dead. The other was a quote of Neil Cassady's that I'm not going to bore you with the whole little story, but I memorized years ago. It said, to have seen a specter isn't everything. And there are death masks piled high, one atop the other, clear to heaven. This commoner still are the wan visages of those returning from the shadowy valley. This means little to those who have not lifted the veil. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
friends since the 80s. Dentistry brought us together. She worked for a dentist, and I worked for a dentist in the same complex, and we became friends. And we did all kinds of fun stuff. Jami was my go-to fun friend. I'd call her up and say, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. We'd go and we'd do Halloween together every year down at Pacific Garden Mall. And we protested. Boy, did we protest. And we did the chili cook-off. And we did the clam chowder cook-off. And we cooked food together, and we just had so much fun. And I miss her so terribly. It's so shocking to think that she's not with me anymore. We're the same age. And, that's kind of hard when you have a friend that's the same age and you lose them. And I've gotten to have all these wonderful people in my life because of her. And I'm just going to miss her forever and ever. We're all so blessed to have her.
Very good.
One that comes to mind is one time we were walking on my road and we didn't really know that poppies were like the California flower that you weren't supposed to pick. But we still picked them and we put them in our hair and we took pictures with them and we posted them on our Facebook. And it was just like a really fun time and it was really comforting. And a couple years later, she started writing me letters because she moved away, and that was one of the things she put in her letters. And it's just one of my favorite memories with her. And now I really like poppies.
I'm really blessed because I got to know Jami a really long time. I met Becky right before I turned 21, so over 20 years now. And Becky and I became really close. I mean, damn near to the point of sisters. We loved like sisters, we fought like sisters, we drank like sisters. And anytime Becky and I would have a fight or a disagreement, like I could talk to Jami about it too. She was so very special in that she just genuinely loved everyone, and she really liked the friendship that Becky and I had, and it was very special because I got to see her become a grandparent. I got to watch her fall in love with her grandson, her very first grandchild. And then I got to watch her fall in love with her baby girl granddaughter. I got to watch her at her daughter's wedding. I got to watch her go through her mom's death. I got to watch her, this will back up a little bit, I got to watch her fall in love with her son-in-law, who I knew before Becky. And she loved him so much. She always told me what a great man he was for her and how proud she was of the both of you. And when we talked about your adoption, she always told me that she was so glad that the perfect girl for her got to come home with her. And there is a hole now. There is a hole. It's actually been really kind of hard to see Kathy walking around because I keep getting glimpses, and I mean that in the best way. I mean that in the absolute best way. But she was an enigma. You couldn't really describe her. You know, she was so full of love and the joy of life, taking the kids on nature walks all the time, and just patios and watching the birds and picking the flowers. And I mean, I remember her walking around with the babies, showing them pictures to help get them to be soothed, and like, look at this, and flipping the light switches on and off. And there's just so much that there's never going to be enough words. There's never going to be enough words. And I'm still in shock about this. And it's going to take a long time, I think, for it to actually sink in. But we love her. And we love you, Randy.
For almost 15 years. I rented a room from her when I was in college. And 3, maybe 4 months before she got married is when this all happened, and I felt very welcomed into their family very quickly. And the redundancy is important because it just goes to show Jami's legacy and her personality and her characteristics, and I can't say enough how much she loved everybody and was kind to everybody. And Becky's statement that she loved the meanest person was so true. She killed everybody with kindness. But one thing that stuck out to me the most, and I will not share details, I will just share a funny story. She got us kicked out of Olive Garden at Becky's bridal shower.
Oh, I remember.
And it's just, she was the life of the party. She is the life of the party. Like, none of us could beat what she was doing and how she was making her daughter feel based on how proud she was of who her daughter was marrying, who her daughter had become, what was in store for her daughter. And the fact that her daughter was getting married after so many years of setbacks because Becky put her family first, and Jami supported her in that, and they supported each other, went a long way.
That was very
And I just had to share that, and I was...
I forgot about that. Thank you.
I love this family.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you.
I have another thing to say. I forgot. In San Francisco, at the same time as we're having our tribute to Jami, they are having a tribute in San Francisco, and they're reading poetry in her honor. I know, it gives me goosebumps. And there was a poem that was going to be sent to us that we were going to read here and videotape, but I haven't gotten it. Yeah. Anyway, it's at the same time as we're having a tribute to Jami. They are in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't have the poem.
No, they were reading it live at the same time.
Yeah, they're supposed to be recording the event there.
I'll share it on Mom's Facebook if we get it.
Your book of poetry, her poetry coming out.
My
Your mom's poetry. Are you working on a poetry book of Carolyn?
My book?
Carolyn's poetry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I published a book of Mom's poetry.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How can we get it?
but it was in 2020.
What's the title?
Poetic Portrait, Carolyn Cassady revealed in poetry and prose.
Nice.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Poetic portraits, thank you.
And the one I just finished is about Dad. It's based on the first third. So that should be coming out next year.
And the title of it is?
And we don't have a title yet, but the working title was Before on the Road, the Making of the Real Dean Moriarty. Because it's about Dad's childhood. And my whole contention is that the way he behaved as an adult was, his childhood contributed to how he behaved as an adult. He had a lot of troubles when he was young. So.
Thank you for writing about your parents.
Okay, so next year, I'll bring the book.
She was the type of person that always said yes to everything, even if it was a no. I remember when I was very young, Grandpa and my grandma got me a bike, and yeah, I was too big for it, but I still rode it. They didn't like it that much because I was like, what, 4 or 5? Mm-hmm. And we'd go on walks all the time at every house they lived at. And I remember one time I broke a cookie jar, and she wasn't even mad. She said, you could eat all the cookies there are. And I would go home sugar-filled every single time I went there. And sometimes I'd get dropped off, and he would pick me up there. And it was just always fun, no matter what I did. And she was just the best grandma ever, the only grandma that I could ever ask for. And I don't know, it was not a very good talker, but yeah. She's still with us forever.
So my grandma got me this motorcycle, well, not a real one, and I still have it right now. It was real. I used to ride it. We used to take walks with Chloe too, and I used to ride it when we were walking with Chloe. So that was really fun, and I still have it. So yeah, and I can still use it, but I'm a little big on it.
I'll say something. I'm Dawn Hinkle Davis, and I knew Jamie, John, Kathy longer than all y'all, except for my brother Mark over there. We grew up with the Cassady kids. Spent all the time we could at the Bancroft house. We had to have Carolyn paint our portraits forever. We did a little piece of a flag on the wall, but every chance I get, Mom, I want to go play with Jamie and Kathy and John. Go out and run around the neighborhood, and we did. And my mom had me take ballet lessons, you know, because Jamie was so accomplished, and you know, well, I want to do that too, but that didn't get anywhere near her accomplishment in that. But they were like the best memories, childhood memories. So much fun. We had a good time, you know, at the Cassadys, and waiting for Neil to come back from, where was he? I don't know. Nobody ever told me for a long time, but you know, I just loved running around the house and swimming in the cesspool, as we called it, and hanging out, you know, looking at Carolyn's drawings, and just, you know, good times.
Let me say one thing.
Yeah.
Your dad, Al, got my dad, Neil, a position on the Southern Pacific Railroad
Yes, he did.
as a brakeman,
Yes.
and later a conductor.
Right.
And Al was the conductor, you know, par excellence. And you know how girls love a man in uniform? Well, Dad would come home in his, you know, conductor uniform, and Jami and Kathy would like climb all over him, and he'd lift him up with both arms and stuff. And I'm just going, whoa, I gotta get me a uniform. But you know, your father really did so much for my father that.
Well, they were best friends.
Yep, and
Since Denver, from way, way back.
That's right, pool halls in Denver.
And the trapeze artistry.
Oh gosh,
Remember
I forgot that story.
Yeah,
That-
they learned how to do trapeze at the YMCA.
Yeah.
And the circus people, whoever it was at the time, were teaching the kids how to swing on the trapeze. And my dad was the catcher, and Neil was the flyer.
Yeah, that is hard to believe, but you know, I'll believe anything this
Yeah.
time. But yes, you know, your father and mother, I mean, Al and Helen were just their best friends forever.
Forever.
And
Yeah.
you know the famous pastel portraits my mother did of both of them. Do you still have those somewhere?
I have the oil paintings.
I mean, yes.
All of them.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
brother
not the pastels. I'm
has
sorry.
his, and me, and in pigtails.
Oh, yeah.
When I was 5, and
Yeah.
Mom and Dad. Yeah.
Well, bless your heart, Don.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you.
Treasures.
Yeah, wasn't your grandfather policeman in Denver at the time?
My grandfather,
Yeah.
was a detective. Yeah.
Yeah, and Neil and ours, hoodlums. No.
They got in a little trouble.
They got in a little trouble.
There could have been pot involved, drugs
There
involved.
could have been, and girls.
It was stealing cars, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, and they were partying at my grandfather's
He just
apartment.
borrowed cars.
Yeah, borrowing, yeah.
He parked them right in the same spot.
Yeah, but that's when my grandfather told my dad that either he was going to go to jail or he was going to go out to California and start working with his uncle on the railroad, the
Yeah,
Southern
let's
Pacific.
see. What would that? I don't know.
Yeah, so
That's
Dad
tough.
went to California and started
And-
working on the railroad.
And we're glad he did.
And then hired your dad, got him on the railroad too. And Neil was like the best at, you know, conductor and brakeman. He didn't miss a day of work in like 10 years. And, you
Worked
know,
on the
there's,
SP for 12 years straight.
yeah, like that. And yeah, he would have got back on the railroad. My dad was the union leader and was going to get your dad back on the railroad, but your dad was too embarrassed and thought the other guys on the railroad would, you know, be ashamed of him or something. He says, but you know, Dad got a lot of guys that were kicked off for drinking. So you know, what's a little pot?
Back then?
Back then,
and
yeah.
then Dad chased the boxcar down and fell off, broke his leg, and they wouldn't treat him because they thought he was a drug addict because he smoked marijuana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. So they had to drive him all the way up to Oakland to get his legs sewn back on. And I remember we visited him in the hospital, but you know, other than that, he had a great career on the SP.
Yeah.
And you know, it's all because of your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
And the Cassadys.
Yeah. Thanks for your story.
Well, thanks. Thanks for yours.
Don, hey.
I think we time to hear from Becky now.
Yeah.
Becky, what have you got to say?
What?
What have you got to
Your
say?
turn.
What do I have to
Your
I
turn.
just want to thank everybody for coming. Is there anybody else that wants to say anything before we just hang out some more? Anybody? She's got something to say. Who?
She's got a lot to say.
Oh, Chloe, yes. I want to thank you guys for coming. I know the weather has been awful. That's crazy because it's been so beautiful for a full month, but just lead every day with kindness the way my mom did, and just remember to not be quick to react and just lead with love. And that's all that I have to say. But thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I know we appreciate it.
We do.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you all. Thank you all.
No, that's okay. Take some flowers. Any of the flowers? Take a couple flowers. Yeah, please take them. They were made for the grass as well as the kids. Take a couple.
Speak up, Chloe.
That's a lot. Oh.
Speak up.